Another violent robbery at a Mission District business. The view from space shows how mighty the Mississippi has become. On the Noon News.
Now, live, the award-winning KTVU News Team and the Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura Zimmerman.
And I'm Frank Somerville. San Francisco police are searching for 4 heavily armed men who they say burst into a Mission District cafe last night. They killed one man and wounded and terrorized other victims. And Rita Williams joins us live now from San Francisco with the latest details. Rita.
Frank, people have been milling around here all morning in front of the Mexico Linda Cafe on Folsom in shock and disbelief about what happened, while right next door here, children have been back in school all morning at the elementary school, as I say, right next door to where the brutal attack occurred. Witnesses say 4, perhaps 5 men walked into the restaurant just before 10 o'clock last night demanding money and then started shooting. First at the ceiling, then at 24 customers inside. One man, Indelicio Flores Padilla, 35, was killed. Witnesses say the gunman first wounded Flores Padilla and when he screamed for help, shot him again. 2 other men were also shot and they are now hospitalized. Now, Jose Garcia was lucky. He just showed us a few minutes ago the bullet wounds he got last night.
They put the gun right here, shot me, the guy.
Shot you right there?
Yeah.
Do you think that you were going to die?
The guy did want to kill me, but this not try. The guy just tried to kill me, but did not kill me. Just put the gun right here.
Is there ever any trouble at this bar?
No.
No?
Just I heard some fights or so.
We don't have much in way of description because, they told everybody not to look. And as far as we can gather, they ran south on Folsom and cut across the schoolyard here and into the darkness.
Now, there's been a string of earlier shootings in the Mission District in restaurants since the end of June, but police told me this morning they do not believe that these are related, that these 4 gunmen, perhaps 5 gunmen last night, do not fit the description of those suspects in the earlier robberies. Back to you.
All right, Rita Williams reporting live from San Francisco. Late this morning, an emotional President Clinton talked about the apparent suicide of a White House attorney, calling it an immense personal loss. Mr. Clinton had known Vincent Foster Jr. since childhood. Foster was found dead last night in a Virginia park. He was 48 years old and the father of 3 children. Police say it was a suicide. Stunned White House officials say they are unaware of anything that would have caused Foster to take his own life. Foster grew up with Clinton in Hope, Arkansas, and was a law partner with Hillary Clinton in Little Rock. A new scandal is erupting on Capitol Hill this noontime. It centers on the House Post Office and an elaborate fraud scheme. Some say a number of high-powered politicians could be involved. David Snepp is in our Washington bureau now and joins us with a live report. David.
Well, Laura, it involves money, power, and prestige. The scheme to turn stamp vouchers into cold, hard cash is the latest scandal to slam into the House.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentlewoman from California.
Brewing troubles for Dan Rostenkowski may end up rocking the entire Congress. Today, Republicans accuse Speaker Foley of withholding vital documents in the House Post Office scandal in order to protect the powerful lawmaker.
And we stand here today and say, no, it's time to tell the American people the whole truth, all of the truth, warts and all.
I don't trust the House leadership. I don't think they're worthy of trust based on what's happened here. And I think it's time to get the facts on the tables.
A guilty plea in U.S. federal court this week points to Rostenkowski as one of 2 congressmen taking cash in return for fake stamp vouchers. Rostenkowski denies the charges, but Foley refuses to disclose evidence collected in a House investigation started 1 year ago.
This was testimony given before a House committee. It should be disclosed completely, uneditedly, and immediately.
All of this comes with Rostenkowski pivotal in budget negotiations now underway. Republicans say the lack of disclosure points to a corruption of power by Democrats.
And I think people are beginning to see that. It's the attitude here that I'm troubled about as much as the specific problems.
Now, Republicans will introduce a resolution asking Speaker Foley to release all of these documents in reference to the post office investigation. That was a similar tactic that was used last year during the House bank scandal. But meanwhile, Speaker Foley says he wants 10 more days to decide whether or not to release this information. But by then, Congress will conveniently be on its August recess. Laura?
Okay, thanks very much. David Snett from Washington.
Senate confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Ruth Bader Ginsburg are now in their second day. She is testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Today, she endorsed the constitutional right to privacy. She was not asked how she would apply that principle to abortion, though. Committee members say they hope to wrap up the hearings this week. So far, Ginsburg has received enthusiastic support, and it looks like her confirmation will be trouble-free. Also on Capitol Hill, the House joined the Senate today in talking about the new military policy on gays and lesbians. Defense Secretary Les Aspin and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Colin Powell defended the don't ask, don't tell, don't pursue policy at a House subcommittee meeting. Aspin predicted that the new policy will not bring on a rush of lawsuits. Aspin also said that the new policy is essentially a sound compromise and probably more enforceable than the old military policy on gays.
Floodwaters continue to ravage the Midwest. Near St. Louis, workers had to flee a levee they were trying to patch after an onslaught of river water came gushing in. Tori Atale reports from South St. Louis.
The evidence of last night's storms was everywhere. Workers transported collapsed sandbags through floodwaters as currents flowed over a bridge and the soggy wall. Homes that were dry yesterday now stood feet deep in water. But it could have been worse. A second crest and the possibility of more rain threatened already weakened levees here. City worker Mike Williams said he was pleased when he got to his post this morning to see the river was not noticeably higher.
I thought the water would be up to here by now, like up the street, because I knew it was going to be bad. And we were all dreading the rain before I got off. And when it hit, we knew what was going to happen, so we were ready. But wasn't much we could do.
Surprisingly, many homeowners here on the river chose to stick it out, even after seeing the sandbag wall give way yesterday.
We got it contained down here. If we didn't do it, the whole basement would be ruined. First 2 nights, we saved this carpet and everything. So we got it all on one side of the basement, but if we left, the whole basement would be flooded.
We're going to stay. How come? Because we like it here. We just have to worry about basements, and all the neighbors are helping one another if there's anything comes up, and we have a generator, and we're just planning to stay.
It's not that bad. It took a little while to get it under control, but I just don't feel like leaving. I will if it gets that bad, but I don't think it will. They've got it marked right out there at the street at 47 feet, but it hasn't reached that now yet. Now, when it gets to there, I probably will leave. The only time it gets scary is when it rains. When it really pours, you don't know what to do.
Rain is in the forecast for the next several days here, so this relatively calm situation could change in a matter of hours. In South St. Louis, Tori Atale for the Noon News.
Now, to give you an idea of exactly how widespread the flooding is, we want to show you some pictures taken from space that show very clearly the problem. The first photo shows the St. Louis area before the recent flooding. That thin line running from the top of the screen is the Mississippi River. The horizontal line is the Missouri River. Now, this is what that same area looked like just a few days ago. You can see the difference. The rivers have moved well beyond their banks and flooded land for miles beyond their banks.
Oakland politics may never be the same again, and we'll have the story straight ahead. Also, the troubled background of this little boy who has touched the hearts of many in the Bay Area.
Plus, a visit to the Bay Area home helping mothers beat drug addiction.
Oh, I looked in the phone book, and there were pages of dentist advertising, but I couldn't tell one dentist from another. As a mother, reliable information is very important to me. In 3 minutes, the operator from 1-800-DENTIST told me all kinds of information on the dentist. They answered all my questions about the dentist. I knew the dentist was pre-screened, and all of this was free to me, so why wouldn't you call 1-800-DENTIST?
We're open to serve you. Don't put it off. Call now.
There are lots of good reasons why I was glad to find out about dialing 1-800-4-INJURY. My wife and kids depend on me. When I couldn't work because I was injured in an accident, A simple phone call changed my life. I immediately had the help of local professionals experienced with accident cases. If you or the people who depend on you are hurt, do what makes sense. Dial 1-800-4-INJURY. 1-800-4-INJURY.
Attorney Charles Ross was one of Jean-Luigi Ferri's victims at 101 California. Ross talks about his coming face-to-face with the killer tomorrow on Mornings on 2.
People living with pain keep thanking me
Thanks, Joe.
for Flexol 454, the aloe vera-based pain-relieving gel recommended by the athletic trainers in all major pro sports.
Thanks, Joe.
Living with pain? Get better. Get Flexol, the pain relief pro trainers recommend.
I hate pain, cramps, backache, headache, but these have only one pain reliever. So I take new Maximum Pain Relief Pamprin. See? 2 pain relievers. One for my cramps, one for my other pains. If you hate pain, take Maximum Pain Relief Pamprin. It hates pain as much as you do.
We usually buy,
Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
yeah, Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
I never heard of this. Total Raisin Bran.
All Raisin Brans are the same, aren't they?
The raisins are sweet.
Very tasty.
This is interesting. Total Raisin Bran has 100% of all these vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, and Kellogg's doesn't.
There really is a difference.
Why don't we buy this?
Total Raisin Bran. The Raisin Bran with the total difference.
You've got your vitamins, your raisins.
And the brand. I could eat this for dinner.
This is KTVU, Channel 2, your Fox affiliate in the Bay Area.
Nagging questions about a mystery boy are finally being answered this noontime. 3-year-old Paul Crowd Jr. was abandoned in Oakland a month ago, and authorities had no idea who he was. Now they know who he is, and the answers are disturbing. Randy Shandabell reports.
Social workers say this little mystery boy has been so sad the past month he hasn't smiled even once. Now we know why. The boy's life was tragic even before someone dropped him off at an Oakland clinic in June, dropped him off and ran away.
Almost immediately, we started getting telephone calls.
More than 75 people called officials late last night after seeing the boy's picture on television. Some of the calls came from the Ebony Plaza Hotel at 28th and San Pablo Avenue, a transient hotel in one of Oakland's most dangerous parts of town.
This is definitely little Paul. He stayed on the 2nd floor at the Ebony. And
You're sure?
I'm positive.
The father, he was taking the little boy to the park in the mornings and go around the lake and stuff like that.
But that hotel desk clerk and 10 residents told us that the boy's parents, Paul Crowd and Pauline Strong, were so addicted to crack cocaine that they often left the little boy alone. Hotel owner Mike Patel took us upstairs to where the family lived. Patel says he evicted the family last month because they hadn't paid their $460 rent.
And I'm feeling so bad about the kids because I don't want to put the kids on the street, you know.
You didn't want to evict him?
I don't want to evict him, but he don't want to take care. When he got the money on the 1st of June, he smoked it up. He don't want to pay the rent.
Smoke it up?
Yes. When I knocked the door, when I opened the door, all the room with the smoke.
And the kid was in there when they were doing this?
Kid with him that time.
This woman says on occasion she watched little Paul Jr. while the parents were getting high.
They had problems, you know, just problems. Both of them.
This morning, police arrested the parents at another low-rent hotel 5 blocks away, charging them with child abandonment. Police say the parents refused to talk. Dozens of people who called officials last night offered to adopt the boy, but his temporary emergency guardian says the boy is very difficult to handle. He doesn't interact with other kids, and when you ask him his name, his only answer is, "Leave me alone." Social service officials say the little boy will now be sent to a hospital for diagnostic tests. Are his problems physical or emotional? Then they say they'll find a permanent home for the boy, a permanent guardian. It now seems extremely unlikely the little boy will be returned to his parents. In Oakland, Randy Shandaville for the Noon News.
As disturbing as Paul's story is, he is certainly not alone. Hundreds of Bay Area children are often left to fend for themselves while their parents go on a binge of drugs and alcohol. At the Mandela House in Oakland, addicted mothers are given a chance to get off drugs and be better parents. Some mothers, though, lose just about everything before they can get help.
I had a fire in my motel, and one of my kids got severely burned.
And then they took my kids and they took me to jail for cruelty to children and child endangerment. And it was either I go to prison or I come to recovery. I didn't care about nothing. I wanted help, but I was faced with so much trauma. It's just that I didn't know how to ask for help. You know, so I was glad that I was faced with that ultimatum to come in here, or I wouldn't have never came on my own.
You don't think you would have ever started?
You don't think about recovery while you're out there using drugs. It's till you actually get in here that you know that your life has a meaning behind it. You know, I just wasn't put here to smoke drugs and leave my kids in foster care.
Cheryl, by the way, has made enough progress that she is expected to get all of her children back soon. The Mandela House, by the way, has helped nearly 100 moms over the last 7 years.
Well, the Oakland City Council has made some major changes in council districts that could give new strength to the city's booming Asian population. Only 2 council members voted against the redistricting plan last night. Their districts will be seriously redrawn. The main opponent was Councilmember Mary Moore, who is losing several white, middle-class neighborhoods and picking up some of the city's predominantly Asian areas. The other council member, Natalie Baton, is losing some of her waterfront area, and she's getting more neighborhoods around Lake Merritt. Well, still ahead on the new news today, parents are asked not to do something when children are present. I'll tell you what it is just ahead.
Also, the federal government is threatening to close a major blood bank here in the Bay Area.
Friday, police say he was a real-life good fella who was double-crossed by his own gang. Now, he'll name his partners in crime. Watch America's Most Wanted. Then, see how one psychic is helping police track down a killer.
I can become the victim. I see who's killing me.
On Sightings. And 2 boys are caught in a sea cave, but rising tides and 30-foot waves make any rescue attempt nearly impossible.
Code 3, Friday at 9:30 on Channel 2.
When you work one job, grab a quick lunch, a quicker dinner, and move on to job number 2, how you gonna spell relief? That's a big relief you can feel, because Rolaids absorbs 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid to stop heartburn fast. So for millions, there's only one way to spell 100% relief. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Family to family, KTVU's commitment to the community continues in partnership with Kaiser Permanente. Good people, good medicine. It's a grand evening of entertainment for the whole family. KTVU's Family to Family and UC Berkeley presents Guys and Dolls at the Zellerback Playhouse in Berkeley. There'll be 12 performances of this American classic beginning July 29th. Don't miss the chance to see this masterpiece. All seats are reserved. Call 510-642-8276.
Let's talk about having a sale. I mean, a real money-saving, lights flashing, siren sounding, woo, 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 woo. Are they crazy? Yes, we will not be undersold. Merchandise must be moved. Prices so low you got to dig down to find them kind of sale. Like the kind that's going on at your Get It Today store, RTO, rent to own. Right now, RTO's got a remote control full-feature VCR on sale for only $8.99 a week. Free delivery today, $8.99. Look us up in the white pages under RTO.
80 million years ago, they ruled the Earth. They weighed over 18 tons and stood over 24 feet tall. You may have thought they were gone forever, but you were wrong. Dinosaurs, a prehistoric adventure. New at Marine World Africa, USA.
The people who line up to donate their blood regularly are in no danger, but one of the Bay Area's largest blood banks is in grave danger this noontime. The Food and Drug Administration is warning the Irwin Memorial Blood Bank to clean up its procedures or face closure. The problems are primarily in record-keeping and computer programs. Irwin's Dr. Andrew Heaton says the blood bank will make some major changes to comply with the strict new demands on quality control.
Irwin has been organized as a medical organization where the relationship between a donor and a patient was treated the way a doctor might look at a patient. But it's a big shift to move from that to thinking of a pint of blood the way you'd think of an aspirin on a production line. And that's a change, and Irwin hasn't got procedures designed around those standards.
Both the federal government and Irwin representatives stressed the fact that the public safety is in no way threatened. Donating blood is still a risk-free process if you are qualified as a donor. Irwin supplies blood, by the way, to hospitals throughout Northern California.
Opening arguments in the trial of Ellie Nestler could begin as soon as this afternoon. Nestler has become known as something of a vigilante for the courtroom shooting death of a man suspected of molesting her son. Attorneys have settled on a jury now of 7 women and 5 men after interviewing 120 prospective jurors. Nestler has pleaded innocent by reason of insanity, so jurors now must decide if she plotted the shooting or if she was overcome by rage after seeing the suspect in court. The Environmental Protection Agency is warning parents to not smoke in their homes, especially if children are present. The EPA is kicking off a major public education campaign to warn people of the dangers of secondhand smoke. Employers should also protect employees from smokers who share work areas. The EPA says there is enough scientific evidence now that shows secondhand smoke is a cancer risk.
In News of the World this afternoon, Secretary of State Warren Christopher has possibly ended any plans of deeper U.S. involvement in Bosnia. At Washington, D.C. press conference today, Christopher said some problems in the world, quote, defy any simple solution. At the same time, the president of Bosnia is pleading for help to save his capital city of Sarajevo from Serbian forces. The Serbs have launched a heavy offensive from 2 directions, reportedly aiming to slice that city into pieces. In Japan, Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa is expected to resign tomorrow, and the jockeying to replace him has now gone public. Miyazawa led his Liberal Democratic Party to its first major defeat since 1955. That followed a series of corruption scandals. Last Sunday's election followed a major blow to the prime minister last month when rebel members of his party joined the opposition. This morning, former foreign minister Michio Watanabe formally declared his candidacy for the prime minister's job. Will the Bay Area continue to cool off? We'll find out in the forecast just ahead.
Also, the burning of Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, that is.
This family-to-family moment is presented by the Clorox Company.
Meet Tony Busby, parent volunteer at Grass Valley School. Tony arrives every morning, and while his son goes to class, Tony helps the principal, works on various projects with the teachers, assists the children in the library, leads gym classes, is a visible presence in the schoolyard. And when school is out, takes his son home and gets ready for his night job. Family to Family salutes Tony Busby for his extraordinary efforts in education.
Call it the ultimate test of a household cleaner, the Polish sausage test. Glass cleaners can't always cut the grease, and spray cleaners can leave streaks on glass. But new 409 Glass and Surface Cleaner cuts the grease and cleans the glass, even grease on glass, without streaking. New 409 Glass and Surface Cleaner. It's better than your spray cleaner, better than your glass cleaner.
High-tech cars require high-tech technicians. Without the training, they wouldn't even know where to start on today's cars.
The new Sequoia Institute has the training you need for the jobs you want.
Hiring nowadays, we can't even look at a guy who doesn't have technical training.
Brought in a whole new management team, new curricula, experienced instructors to keep pace with the training needs of the 90s.
The graduates of Sequoia nowadays are going to be the kind of high-tech people we need in this industry.
The new Sequoia Institute, 90s training for real-world careers and real money.
There's a certain itch that's so private, most people will only discuss it with their doctor. Fortunately, you can get Anusol HC1 ointment over the counter with the same prescription strength doctors have prescribed most.
If you're looking for itch and pain relief from bug bites and allergic rash, look for Advanced Formula Benadryl Cream, now with soothing aloe. Benadryl stops both itch and pain, even the strongest hydrocortisones can't. Benadryl Cream and Spray.
Your bathtub shouldn't look like this. Miracle Method can completely refinish your old tub, repairing chips, cracks, discolorations, and even change colors. Porcelain or fiberglass, Miracle Method's baked enamel finish resists chipping and peeling. Tubs, tile, and sinks will look like new and be ready to use in just 24 hours. And only Miracle Method offers a nationally certified 5-year warranty. For a free estimate or brochure, call 800-801-2600.
In case you didn't see it, there were some pretty scary moments at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium before the Braves game last evening. Take a look at the flames that broke out near the press box. Authorities think that it was an electrical fire, and before firefighters could put it out, the flames had spread through several luxury suites. The stadium had to be evacuated, but fortunately no one was hurt, and the game was eventually played. However, it was started 2 hours late. Just so you know, the Braves were down early 5-0, but, well, they came back to win, and so they remain 9 games behind the San Francisco Giants.
Well, coming up tonight on the original 10 o'clock news, are some produce markets selling you peaches that are too small? We'll have that story tonight. Also, UC Santa Cruz students are being warned to watch their backs, and here's why. There'll be a mountain lion like this one lurking on campus. Tonight, we'll tell you what campus officials are doing to let students know about the danger. That story tonight on the 10 with Dennis and Elaine.
Wow. Repeat of the slightly cooler temperatures today, but look for a gradual warming trend starting tomorrow. Those morning clouds should be in full retreat by midday, except for some patchy areas along the coast, and the winds will be from the west to about 30 miles an hour. Highs will be from the 60s coast side to the low 80s around Concord and Livermore. Our natural air conditioning will spread coastal clouds inland, but it will be fair elsewhere with lows in the 50s. Pretty much the same picture weather-wise for tomorrow. AM clouds clearing by midday, except for along the coast with highs ranging from the 60s through the low 80s. At the moment, local temperatures, 74 degrees in Vallejo, 71 Santa Rosa, 65 San Rafael, 69 in Redwood City, 73 in Mountain View, and 73 in San Jose as well. High pressure is building up over the region, and it will bring much warmer temperatures over the weekend.
I guess UC Santa Cruz students have a good excuse not to go to the library and study, huh?
Well, I was looking at that picture, and at first it just looked like a tree, and then as you look closer, you see that little head peering out. Wow.
Amazing. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for the noon news today. Thanks a lot for joining us. Dennis and Elaine will have a full update for you on the 10 o'clock news tonight.
And we certainly hope you can join us tomorrow, 7 a.m. for Mornings on 2, and then later for the noon news. I'm Frank Somerville.
And I'm Laura Zimmerman. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Make Channel 2 a part of your lunch hour. Stick around and join Judge Wapner for midday courtroom drama on the best of People's Court next here on KTVU.